Okay, I'm setting up my laptop so it's not cooking in the sun. Oh, and the love effect is on. Okay, great, awesome, we're set up. So before I start this video, it's been a hassle getting this set up. Like, I just wanted to record something in my car on my laptop, and then I find out that QuickTime Player won't record me, but it will screen record, so I opened up Photo Booth and screen recorded Photo Booth. That's why you see this in the bottom. I'm not going to edit it out. This is not supposed to be something that I'm going to be editing or whatever the case. It's just kind of free thought, yapping, and that brings me to the point of this series, I guess. It's not going to be anything like weekly or monthly, or it's just going to be when I feel like it. It could be 3 times in a week. It could be 1 time in a year. Like, it's just when I feel like recording these. But I've wanted to do this for a while. Oh, the mouse is over my face. Whoops. I've wanted to do this for a while now, but it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard because I feel like every time there's a camera on me specifically, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, they want to accentuate their personality. I feel like when people do this, they tend to put on a persona or a character, and to a certain extent I'm doing the same thing, but I'm trying to be as genuine as possible. I've definitely made YouTube videos before. I've definitely, exaggerated my character or like characteristics of myself, but I really just want to be genuine and just do this. Also, I'm not sure if this is fucking with the audio now. It's hot as balls. It's super hot, and that's one of the reasons why it took me so long to set this up, because I was parked over there, but the sun was beaming onto my laptop and it was literally cooking my MacBook. Like, it's hot to the touch, and I was like, oh, this is probably not the best idea, especially since I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm just going to yap and see where it goes. And I tried driving around this mall, and there's absolutely no shade. Like, there's no shade. It's like 10:38 in the morning and it's 30 degrees. Anyway, whatever. Did the screen recording stop? Oh my god, I forgot I had to deal with the idle mode, whatever, or sleep mode, whatever the fuck. So if you see me do this, I'm not doing it. If you see me fucking around like this, I'm not like playing with a vinyl. Oh, I can take this off too, huh? I'm parked. What am I doing? But like I said, I kind of just want to yap about things. I'm a big philosopher. No, sorry, let me rephrase that. I'm a big philosophy guy. We're trying to do this with no cuts. Like, whatever cuts I do is just because it's blank space or I messed up a word, but I'm trying to do this in like one fell swoop, or just free flow off the top of my head. But I'm not a philosopher. I'm a big philosophy guy. I love reading philosophy. My favorite philosopher being Albert Camus, a French philosopher. He wrote the book Myth of Sisyphus, which happens to be my favorite book. It's a book about suicide, and suicide for me is a heavy topic. We'll see if this guy ends up in the video. Yeah, guest appearance, dude with Pumas on. Suicide for me is a heavy topic, but a super important one, because I actually battle with the thought of suicide all the time. I say this with a smile on my face. Like I said, this is like the character aspect of YouTube videos or recording yourself, but it's true. I battle with it all the time. Matter of fact, this last month, like the last 3 weeks, have been the hardest 3 weeks of my fucking life, because I kind of acted upon something that I shouldn't have acted upon. Something that I've been thinking about since I was like 12 or 13 years old. I've been super depressed. This is really dark. I didn't realize I was gonna get so deep so quick. This is the free flow element I was talking about, but I've been super depressed for a long fucking time. Sorry, again, the idle mode. And I burnt out. I burnt out completely. No thoughts in the head. Okay, there was no thoughts in the head. I took this beautiful car, and right there in the back, I nuzzled up with a blanket that I have in my trunk, popped as many Xanax as possible, and drank like a bottle and a half of white wine in hopes that, like, not I didn't think it was gonna kill me, but I didn't mind if it did, type of deal. Like, I was just done. Okay, so for point of reference on why I felt that way, I felt like I was failing everyone. And the thing about it is I don't trust many people, and I don't keep many people in my circle. I'm a friendly person. You can approach me and talk to me, and I'll be friendly and polite. That's not a problem. But for people like genuinely in my circle that I keep around, I don't keep many people around. I don't trust anybody. Like, I'm not going to get into full details on that, but there's like a very select handful of people that I genuinely trust in my life. Like 4 or 5 people. Everyone else is expendable to me. And so when I feel like I'm failing those 4 to 5 people, I feel like I'm failing myself. And I felt like I was attacking. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of cuts. I was like, no, there's not going to be any cuts. It's going to be free flowing, but I'm everywhere right now. I don't even know what I don't even kind of know why I'm recording this. I guess I'm recording this kind of as like a video diary / I don't know, vlog. Hopefully someone can watch this and relate to a certain extent and take something from it. But the reason why I bring up Albert Camus is because in that book it talks heavily about suicide. In the first half of the book, it seems like he's glorifying it. Later on, he goes to elaborate that it's actually absurd. That's his like favorite word in the book, by the way. If you read the book, the word absurdity comes up countless times. Like he truly does think suicide is absurd, and I also agree with him. However, when you're in that state of mind where you feel like you're failing not only everyone that you trust, which for me, like I said, I only trust like 5 people, but you're also failing yourself, it feels like that's the only fucking answer. It feels like that you've hit the wall, like you're done, buddy. You know? Also, I won't beat around the bush. Love is a hell of a drug, okay? Dude, I'm gonna cut so much out of this. I'm like everywhere. Let me just try to get back on track. So, I had suicidal ideologies for a long time. 3 weeks ago, I acted upon them and was placed in a psych ward for like a day to assess my mental state and to assess if I was a danger to myself. They said that I wasn't. And prelog, is it word prelog? Is it prelog? No. Actually, before that event, I had gone to the psych ward, the same exact psych ward, and requested a therapist because I was feeling extremely anxious and I knew that something was bubbling in me. They didn't give me a therapist. Instead, they gave me medication, which I took for like a week. And I think that also was something that pushed me over because this medication made me feel like a zombie. The best way I can explain it is that the medication did in fact reduce my anxiousness towards whatever I was feeling anxious about initially, but then started making me feel anxious about taking the anxiety medication because I was feeling like a zombie and I was anxious that because I was now zombified that I wouldn't be able to accomplish what I need to accomplish. So that was a vicious cycle, and I personally do not want medication ever again for that exact reason. When I was admissioned again 3 weeks ago because of my suicide attempt, I told them flat out, like, I don't want medication. Like, I really don't want medication. What I want is a therapist. I want someone to aid me in finding tools so that when I feel these ways, when I feel scared, when I feel anxious, when I feel like I'm failing myself, when I feel like I'm failing my girlfriend, when I feel like I'm failing my closest peers, that I can sit back, reflect, and be like, no, you're okay. That's all I was looking for. And I know it's kind of weird because in theory, if I know that I need those tools and I know that I'm problematic in that sense, that I should be able to find it on my own. But I've been doing this now for like 12 fucking years and I still haven't found a positive outlet. I don't know if this I don't even know if this makes sense anymore. What I'm trying to say is, for the longest time I've always danced around the idea of suicide, And like 12 to 13 years later, I finally acted upon it because it was just cascading. Like depression, the depression was just cascading over me, guys. Like the depression really, well, I'm not sure if it's depression because I'm not like, I don't want to self-diagnose that it's depression because I don't like self-diagnosis. Sorry, my bad. I don't want to self-diagnose. But there is something off with me. I have not been diagnosed with depression, but it feels that way. Maybe I'm just extremely emotional. I don't know. But regardless, whether it's depression, whether it's BPD, I don't think it's BPD. But again, it could be a plethora of things. I just want someone to guide me and give me the tools that I need in order to succeed. Not in my life completely. That's also on me. I have to be able to manipulate my life in order to see success and reap the benefits. But I would like someone, a professional, to aid me. So that's what I asked for initially when I went. I didn't get it. I got medication. Medication fucked me up. And eventually I was just like chilling in the back, having a grand old time. They later pinged my phone and found me, and the rest is history. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I am truly embarrassed by it. And I question why I'm even recording this, because while I'm recording it, I'm like, this is a super embarrassing story. And what if people like watch this and they're like, wow, this guy's fucking Looney Tunes. But regardless, the reason why I'm making the video, because I just want to get some stuff off my chest. I've been given a lot of advice from people over my years about how to manipulate situations to my benefit, how to conjure better relationships with others, how to love, how to respect. Now, I have a huge problem, and this might sound extremely egotistical, but I am a giver. I give, but I give way too fucking much of myself. I know a lot of people can probably relate to this. I give more than I can even give. If you want to look at it in like a finance way, think of it as supply and demand. My supply is lower than my demand. So that being said, I give too much. I give way too much, okay? To the point where other people will take advantage of me. This is where the video might get a bit rocky, so bear with me for a second, but what I feel like as of recent is I give way too much to the point where people take advantage of me. And that's how I felt like in my last 2 relationships now, like romantic relationships, where I give an abundance of things and the other person is like wishy-washy. Like, I'm not saying they don't give back. By the way, I fucked up my pinky, so if you see like black shit on my pinky, it's not because I was fiddling with my bumhole, it's just because I crushed it in that trunk. Yeah, okay, back to what I was saying, I guess. So in my romantic relationships, I feel like I give an abundance of love, support. I feel like I am genuinely there for them. I try to give them as much as humanly possible, essentially. And all I ask in return is like an I love you, or like, I don't need these grand gestures in return. I just need there to be some sort of affirmation that they love me back. That's all I need. And that's all I've ever needed. It seems like in my relationships, or the women that I end up dating, I won't say like the women I attract, because I attract a wide variety of women, but the women that I go for in relationships are women who need self-validation in that moment. I'm not saying they're consistently like selfish, or they're consistently like, you know, I need validation all the time. The women that I go for are women who in that moment need self-validation. And it sucks because I'm kind of just a stepping stone every time. Like, oh, you aided me so much with, like, in terms of loving myself and accepting myself. It's kind of like I go in there and I teach them that they can love themselves and respect themselves, or I teach them that not all men are terrible, and like, I am genuinely here to care for you. I'm not here just to sleep with you or to use you. I genuinely want to be with you. and they take that and they're like, oh, thank you for teaching me that, and then they go to the next. People tell me that's normal, that's how relationships work, that people take what they need and they leave, but I find it so fucking jarring because I just sat here and gave you my entire life. Like, I sat here and gave you my entire entity, and now I feel like my energy is being harvested. That sounds super intense. Sounds like sounds like they're aliens. They're gonna harvest my brains or whatever. But that's what I genuinely feel like. I feel like the people that I go for do that, and it's kind of jaded me, and it's kind of made me never want to be with anyone ever again, romantically, that is, because I don't know at this point if I'm gonna be used or this is genuine. I'm not telling other people to not trust women. I think a lot of people can relate, maybe not with the romantic relationship part, but with just giving too much. Because even in my everyday life, I go to work and I'm the best at work, hands down. I'm not gonna say what I do. I work in healthcare, that's all you guys gotta know, but I'm the best at what I do in that building, 110%. Am I the best of all time? No. Am I good at what I do? Yes. Am I the best there? 110%. And people know that, and people know I don't typically say no, so I stretch myself out so thin, like, consistently, and yeah, I'm just burnt out. And that's what I do in relationships as well. I burn myself out because I am giving so much of myself, and I am proving to this person that I love you. And this is definitely due to abandonment issues. At least that's what the psychologist told me. He's like, you definitely have abandonment issues. And I'm like, yeah, 110%. I won't go into full detail on why in this video, because I'm already yapping like manically. But I do have abandonment issues, and part of me feels like I consistently have to validate the other person, and I consistently have to tell them that, hey, I love you, like, I'm here. And maybe that's jarring for them, but I wish instead of just leaving and taking all the validation I gave them and putting it into someone else, because that feels just spiteful to me. Maybe I'm a baby, maybe I'm a little crybaby, but it feels spiteful to me to take all the energy that I gave you and then put it into another person. That, this sounds so fucked up, but lesser than me, because I know that person's not going to give you what I give you. That's the most sad thing I've ever said. This happened twice, and one of the reasons why I spiraled like 3 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago from the date of this recording, was because we were ending it. And it sounds so cliche, like, oh my god, the boyfriend tries to kill himself after, like, but you have to understand that I didn't think this was gonna happen again. I thought the first time this happened, it was a fluke. I thought that was a like, with my first relationship, I thought that was a one-time fluke. But to see it happen again, I think that just drove me off the deep end. I was just like, oh my god, like, it kind of just confirmed to me that my personality type and my archetype is a stepping stone. I am here to push people in a different direction, but I'll never be truly happy myself because I want that, but I can't have that. This is just for me to fix so they can move on, and it fucking sucks. It really fucking sucks. So that's why I am not ever dating again. Like, I'm just gonna, it sounds so stupid, and I know people are gonna be like, oh, you're gonna date again, like, maybe not in the comments, but no, like, I'm not even mad about it, because the cycle is clear. It's right in front of me. And for the record, it's not just those two opinions that entice me to think that way. I have hooked up with a lot of women, and respectfully, like, they all knew that it was just hookups. I never made it seem or allured to the fact that we were going to be in a romantic relationship or whatever. And those people found trust and, like, found validation in me that led them to be in relationships now, because I'm just that guy, I guess. I'm just that guy. I don't know. I think, no, fuck it. I know for a fact I make people feel safe, secure, trusted, loved and respected. And so even when I was hooking up with people, they would see that and they would be like, you know what, like not every guy is like my last boyfriend, you know. And I made my exes feel the exact same way, except they took that and they moved on with someone else quickly, like not even like months or any, like literally like days or midst of our relationship. So yeah, imagine filling someone's cup. The best way I can say it is, imagine filling someone's cup with love, and that love then manifests into their self-love, manifests into their own validations, and then they go and they give that cup to someone else instead of filling yours, you know. And I just can't do that anymore. I can't be the victim of this anymore. It's super jarring. And also imagine they're filling someone else's cup up while they're with you. That's just a beautiful way of saying cheating, I guess. I don't know, but imagine that. Imagine you give them everything. Not only do you love them during the amazing parts, but you love them during the not so amazing parts, the hard parts, the parts of relationships that no one wants to talk about, the parts of relationships where people want to give up. I never gave up. I always pushed. And like the crazy thing is, like, this is super personal, I guess, but she had told me, oh, I try to push him away and he keeps coming back. And I'm like, bruh, you push me away and I keep coming back. I feel like I'm always like right here. Like I'm always down here. Like I'm so forgettable. Like I'm just in the back of people's minds. Like not even my own significant others think of me first. Or like second after themselves. You know, that makes sense. I think of myself first at times as well. Hold on, let me rephrase that. I think it's healthy for you to think of yourself first too. But imagine your significant other is thinking of you less than someone else that she's eyeing. I know, I'm just explaining cheating, but still, like, it's crazy. And in return, they're like, oh, this person is there for me and does things for me, and lists 4 or 5 things that you have literally done. When I repeated it back to her and I gave her everything that I did, she was silent. She couldn't speak because everything she was telling me was absolute like BS. Like, what? All I'm saying is that it fucking sucks. And I am tired of, I know that I just went on a whole rant about a romantic relationship, but this could happen in a plethora of different relationships, whether it be romantic, platonic, whether it be with your family. I have family members who take advantage of me too. It's just how it fucking goes. Everyone takes advantage of me. Everyone fucking thinks that I am expendable too at the same time. It's like, how does that even make sense? I'm speaking personally right now, but like, how can someone rely on me so much, but yet think of me as an expendable human being? And again, this is not just about my relationship I was just speaking of. This is about every romantic, platonic relationship that I've ever had. Except for, like, again, maybe 3 or 4. It's crazy. It's honestly crazy. Like, I can't believe it. And when I say this stuff, like, I feel like people who don't know me are gonna definitely think that I have an ego. But it's not an ego, it's a hero complex. And not because like I want to be like the big fucking hero saving the day, but in my mind I just want to help. I just want to help. And I definitely have an array of problems. I definitely wasn't the perfect boyfriend in a lot of instances. I definitely have a temper at times. I definitely get into my head. I definitely overthink. I definitely talk too much about certain situations that bother me instead of just letting it go. I'm not perfect. I am not perfect. That is not what I'm claiming. I guess this video is just, if you feel the same way, if you're too much of a giver, I'm gonna give you some really simple advice. Stop fucking giving. For the first time in 3 weeks, I'm going back to work, and I have this new mentality. I am not giving anybody anything. I'm doing my work and I'm going home. That is it. That is it. That is absolutely it. No overtime, no fucking doing other people's tasks. Like, no. I'm going in, I am doing my job, and I am leaving. And that is the first step to my recovery. That I, like myself, oh, someone else had a Honda Element. That's pretty sick. By the way, I'm in a Honda Element. I love my car. Here's an image of my car. Actually, there's going to be no images because I'm not editing this. Fuck that. That is my first step to personal recovery. And my second step is just not being in a relationship. Clearly, I hold the same spot in everyone's heart romantically, and that is Zach is a good person. He makes me feel like I'm loved, appreciated, and validated. But I'm going to take what he gives me and then use it in the future with someone else. And I am done with that. I am done putting my energy into people that don't reciprocate it. And yes, there's probably women out there who will reciprocate it and be with me. And I'm not even doubting that. But it's a gamble still. And I don't like the odds. I don't like the odds. So I'm not blackpilling. I'm not against women. Point is, if you're watching this and you feel like you're too much of a giver, stop giving. Even if you're in a relationship with someone and you feel like you're giving them too much and they're not giving you anything back, give it some time. I think being empathetic no matter what is a good thing. And this is another thing too, this is one more thing. If you take advice from people, like even my advice right now, take it with a grain of salt, because my situation is definitely not the same as your situation, definitely not the same as his situation. So people tend to give advice and solely make it about their personal endeavors, which makes sense. Like, they went through that situation, therefore their ideologies on that subject are going to be like manipulated due to that. All I'm going to say on the subject is, when you seek advice, take it with a grain of salt, because someone in my exact case could come out of it. Because, for instance, let's use my example, where my ex had eyes for someone else while we were together, despite him being not as compatible with her as I was, right? Someone else can come out of that situation completely hateful of women, like a full-blown sexist, because of this event. And that's not okay either. Like, just because you were shit on doesn't mean that you should come out of this hating an entire group of people. That's just an example. So, you know, your best friend could come up to you and be like, yeah, well, that's why I fucking hate women, because they're just manipulative. And it's like, okay, well, like, calm down there. You know, you don't want to go off the deep end that bad. Just like you don't want to sit in the back of your car with a bottle of wine and 20 Xans. But regardless, take advice with a grain of salt. This is, I guess, episode 1. I feel like this is the worst episode of all time. I'm still going to post it, though, because fuck it. And hopefully maybe next time I'll just write notes down. I think next episode I'll have like an outline of what I want to speak about and kind of just go through that bullet point, because this is like, my ADHD mind is just not working right now. I just want to say 10 billion things at once and I'm not formulating anything properly. But thank you for tuning in, and do not like this video, please. Don't like the video, just watch it. I don't know.